I feel like we don't really take into account what Injury Reserve did to hip-hop. Feel like, well, with a confident amount of precision, hip-hop after this album kinda changed a little bit. Production got stranger, denser, and heavier. The music got darker. Took a few years to set in, but since I listened to a Grizzly Wedding, I've been looking really closely at hip-hop beats and production in albums. Sure, you still got your accessible trap production, but in 2021, the weirdest project I heard was Alley Rocket. Which, while creative, still mildly in tune with the genre. In fact, that was the year I was introduced to Isiah Rashad sample. The House is Burning was one of many monotone trap albums I heard that year. I was very new to mainstream and alternative hip-hop that period, so I wasn't into it at all. Even now, I can't say I love it. I felt at the time it sounded like someone greening out on weed and... I think now the exhaustion of being trapped comes out, but the album sounded like lo-fi party anthems. I don't know. I didn't care for it, and I wasn't into contemporary hip-hop or any hip-hop besides the experimental stuff. The album, in hindsight, probably could have had some pandemic themes related to it. I'm not sure. I remember during the No Name kerfuffle, there was a real question about hip-hop's popularity with a majority white audience. Do they truly understand it when they are not the intended audience? The answer to that question is no. There is a real problem with white people who enjoy hip-hop as a commodity and not as art, but let's be honest, that problem will never be fixed, ever, as cynical as that is. American culture is very much in tune with people just accepting things, so there are going to be people who look at hip-hop as entertainment and nothing more, as cynical as that is. Vince Staples released an album that really digs into that paradigm. He already touched on it before on Dark Times. So many women that crash and die, who can I call when I need help? But Crybaby isn't even subtle. I don't know if I'm brave enough to cover that album because I'm more interested in production. Yeah, totally, yeah. Not necessarily free. Black folks always embarrassing me with that face down, ass up, hands on your knees. I'm gonna have to talk about this at the end of the year, fuck. Not like us seem to confirm that fear could be real, but honestly, the culture could still persist if you just spelled it out. And underneath that, clip showed us that you could still make the production as dense as possible and still produce one of the best albums of an already really great year. Smoke. So Be It sounds ancient. The alt and blues influence in Lotus, the deeply confrontational production of The Great Bailout. Hip-hop has gotten harder in its messages, see Dead Channel Sky, while also getting heavier in production, see Jid's The Forever Story and God Does Like Ugly. Why am I sick? Up until a point. Mainstream rap disappeared entirely in 2025 for stupid reasons involving Billboard being incompetent, possibly corrupt. It came back with a vengeance in 2026, and by that I mean it just sold out. Hard. And most of the major releases that touch the pop charts suck ass. So I think as a result, a lot of the non-major stuff has been actually trying a lot harder, which has been true for most genres, but hip-hop feels like one of the few genres that's been unscathed by the pandemic. It doesn't seem to be suffering under the streaming umbrella in the same way, possibly because hip-hop is more curated in community in the same way that a lot of really deeply underground genres are. It's not the only genre thriving, but it's the only major one I think it is. I'd say hip-hop is having a year of time. I was not sick before I started recording, for the record. But R&B has been having a great year. Past few years, honestly. LMA, Kalani, Steve Lacy, Thundercat. I should do a video on one of the Thundercat songs in hindsight. And by far my personal favorite release from this hyper-specific corner of hell, Isiah Rashad. For real, the cake, the spill, the faith, the work, the race, the wheels, a circle. Technically hip-hop with R&B influences, but again, year of time. I mean, they're both blues influenced. It's Been Awful was so good. I know most of my individual videos are on projects I love, so this doesn't mean anything, but this is seriously like the best album of the year so far. For now. I really don't have a part I like the most. The whole project I I talk a lot about albums having a nightly mood, but this is probably the best example. The soft vocals, the theme of defeat, and the writing really dig into that dark tone through the album. Where it never falls into the same vein as Dark Times being kind of nihilistic, there's actually quite a bit of uplifting lyrics in it.
Fury abs in the month of dizzy, scathing, lust, anxious, and suffering, fucking. Lost, don't fuck with my money.
Just find your people, keep your head up, keep trying. There's more to life than just being unhappy.
No, but that is, I know we've been on this fucking journey making this fucking project. We went through a lot of emotions and everything, so I guess, you know what I'm saying, let's try to be a little lighthearted, but I guess we can talk about it. Let's talk about it.
It's not that different from Staples, but it comes up more on this album, which is ironic given the title and cover. Personally, I like this album way more than Dark Times, especially my two favorite songs. Originally, I was going to cover Superficial. I love the pleading in the chorus. You're way outside. Oh, so good. I love the chorus of It's Stuffy and I'm sick of the lights, let's get some fresh air. Wait, why are you going so far from the lights? I'm scared of the dark. And it's about distance in a relationship. She's tired of this back and forth. So good. I ended up going with Boy in Red 2, the single I first got a sample of. This song sounds amazing. The mood is dark and cold, the pacing is swift, and there isn't a moment lost letting that sentiment sit. The blues sample is wide and reverbed, the bass is light, and the drum beat is refrained. Not quiet, but not hard-hitting either. Rashad's vocals are whispery, there's a lot of vocal howls in the background, but the lyrics are defeated, besides the chorus. Which is interesting because the song is basically about an on-again, off-again relationship, where the two split, fight, get together, fuck, and then separate. Boy in Red is also a song about sex. The chorus is about doing it, though the cheering and the ad-libs are, I don't know. It contrasts with the dreary and cloudy tone in the song, but it is a song about sex, so I don't know. I think it works. SZA, the co-star, sings about being on the opposite end of this relationship. He pushes her away, hangs with his buds, then comes right back. It's a friends with benefits relationship at best, and a cold sexual relationship at worst. There's also that note. The verse continues on with this flirtatious push, but the colder ambience reflects a distant emotional trend. I'm embarrassed to admit that I learned of fire through BTS first. What a bunch of hookers. Actually, let me go back to Superficial. Superficial has this jazz sample with more brass samples buried in the mixer. The vocal singing is even raspy and tired. There's this subtle piano or keyboard playing these quiet chimes. Possibly a marimba. It sounds lonely. The chorus is the narrator wanting to get away from the fake lights for fresh air, and the verses also list this woman's addictions.
Did you have another episode? Are you privy to the underline? Are you headed into hell alone? I'll be happy on my debit card.
Especially in the last verse where he goes on about, I'm not just a rapper, I have more to me, you have all these problems, my mom's stepping in.
I'm worth more than a rap shit. Worth more than my rap shit. You are who you are, so crash for what? My mama intervening. I wanna see you clean up.
And the chorus ends with, you be way outside. You be way outside. My mommy says you need to stop smoking. I feel like the song has two sides. One, the narrator, Rashad or other, as the tired partner dealing with this crumbling woman bearing her burdens, and she's growing more distant and cold as a result of this problem. Two, this whiny dork being all, I'm not just me, I got stuff going on, you got issues too, as this woman pushes further and further away. I mean, he has to go outside in the same breath as he bitches that, you're a junkie, I don't want to be near you. The song's pacing is even faster, the verses fly by.
Piece to piece me back is torture. All for love and lost the love. It's thinking like I lost myself.
And the production is dense with details, like thoughts racing through his mind. In a way, they could also be fighting and were just in his head. Okay, now I'm interested. Where Boy in Red is sparse and refrained, Superficial is fast and packed. Boy in Red is mutual in the relationship, but the connection is frail and only exists for sex, where the second story feels like the more detailed look into that kind of dead relationship. The first song reflects the purpose of the relationship lingering. We go our separate ways and come together when we need it. The second one digs into that hollow existence because he's a whiny twerp and she's an addict. As soon as they get out of the bedroom, they separate because she doesn't want to hear him complain and he doesn't want to be around her fumes.
Can we lay outside? I hate lights in the ceiling. Can we stay outside? Where you going? You a junkie? You been way outside.
Superficial.
It's about you again. So sorry.
I think SZA being on Boy in Red also adds depth that humanizes the deuteragonist here. She knows he's dogging her to go hang out with his bros and only comes by to get in the mood.
My boyfriend, you've been out with your boys, feeling horny and annoyed. Now you want me again.
Rashad's verses are flat and to the point. He says he'll be your boyfriend for the night, and if not, her girlfriend.
Then I could be your boyfriend. And if that doesn't work, then I'll just be your girlfriend.
Either they'll, get it on or they'll just hang out, but the point is to get her there. I like that when she's around, he opens up and softens down. SZA, on the other hand, doesn't want to be friends with him, knows he's out and about, getting tired and flirting back. She's into it.
Hey, coy, I've been driving your boat, blowing all your steam. You should let me in.
For some reason. Hence the muted cheering in the chorus. I think that blues riff sample adds to it and makes it less obnoxious, which makes the production denser and adds to the gentle tone of the song. Where Superficial, having those lines where Rashad describes this woman as, frankly, a wreck, SZA is not on. And no, I'm not calling Rashad woke either. I think it just makes both songs fit. Though, the clapping in Boy in Red. Are they playing patty cake? Superficial... I need to hear that chorus flow.
Hate lights in the city, can we lay outside? I hate lights in the ceiling, can we lay outside? I ain't going, you a junkie, you way outside.
Sorry. I like that note of just focus. I think either he's trying to keep himself calm or he's about to blow up, which is the same thing, and decides to keep himself leveled to...
Baby, I need more than the last one.
I miss that. I mean, I think he's also nervous too about another fight or descending into his worst self.
Just give it all, just give it all, just give it all.
I mean, that sense of someone you're mad in love with, who you want to be close with, who is pushing you away, and in turn you lash out.
All for love and lost the love. It's looking like I lost myself and lost a step. It's costly scars and you never lied. Did you have another episode? Are you privy to the underline?
Rashad is trying so hard to give it all while this soul sample sings to him, but she couldn't care. I mean, she's going way outside.
Awful often off the coffin, aren't you? Piece by piece to piece me back is torture.
The second verse is the spitfire barrage of venting. He's also not doing great, and also falling apart.
Wait some hard and nauseous day sipping. They said Rashad was starving, day tripping.
There's familiarity in her that he wants, but also they're both crumbling, and he's sick of it. And yet they persist.
I wanna see you clean up. I hate lights in the ceiling, can we lay outside?
Feels like a tired relationship in between the middle dullness and its inevitable end. This whole album is exhausted, frankly.
Even though it's been awful, what are like? Give me 3 things you're grateful for.
Grateful every day just to be breathing, bruh.
It's been awful sounds tired at all points in it. Honestly, hip-hop isn't doing so well. It's been tired a lot. It needs sleep. Now, I brought up the evolutionary map from By the Time I Get to Phoenix because of the production equivalent. I'm not saying any of these artists are directly pulling from Injury Reserve. Technically, Frank Ocean or Steve Lacy can be credited for this R&B shift into hip-hop, perhaps even The House is Burning, which I neglect to pay attention to because I wasn't at all into the sound. I point to Injury Reserve because I think tracks like Knees and Smoke Don't Clear tapped into a sound mainstream hip-hop wasn't. From 2009 to 2021, hip-hop was hyper energetic. Not all of it, trap had a downshift in the late 2010s, but I still think there was a lot of energy in it. even from the 2000s. One album definitely honed in on this mood, and it was Dark Times.
Label trying to give me feedback, tell me bring the streets back.
These songs, this whole album, remind me a lot of how depressing and angry Dark Times was. Etouffee specifically.
All I wanted was a couple meal, make the city proud, put it down for them crackers come and tear it down. What are you about?
Which is about being trapped in a dingy, shitty place, but being familiar with it, because the alternative is living a lie, or worse, living with the white people. To an extent, not all of it obviously, a lot of hip-hop is trended darker and denser, even before Let God Sort Him Out. I think the pandemic especially brought out more desolate feelings. I don't know. I also bring up Staples because his shift brought out some deep criticisms, especially on that new album.
You can live by the gun, die by the gun. Only in America. You can lie, you can steal, house on the hill. Only in America.
Gulp, Little Homies was a nice, though still tired, contrast to the more downbeat tone of that album. I think where they differ is that Dark Times is colder and, if I may say, political. Where It's Been Awful is written more like the usual hip-hop album. It's more introspective. I think it reveals more personal and emotional depth because of that, where Dark Times is more detailed in what it confronts. If anything, the darker era the 2020s brought fixed what hip-hop lost in the... Where'd my script go? I gotta read it off my phone like I'm a fucking 16-year-old doing a PowerPoint presentation, my god. If anything, the darker era of the 2020s fixed what hip-hop lost in the 2010s. Depth. Because hip-hop is a very dark and confrontational genre, and for a while I think younger fans wanted something lax when things got really heavy in 2016, until the pandemic reminded us of what the world really is. And I feel like this late era kinda lost that.
A daydreamer, what? Rolling in a beamer, by the beam, I'm in a beamer, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get it at this point. This album is fantastic. These two songs are my favorite. I really could have covered any other song, and why the fuck wasn't this more popular? I mean, I know the answer. Darker, sadder album, follow-up, artist not aligned with mainstream boredom. I think I ask it more because I feel like the sound should have gotten way more hype than it did. This is probably going to be my album of the year, and I feel strong about that. Yeah, Fentanyl's project was fun, but this was incredible. No complaints. Yet. I gotta get my next video done on, what's next? Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting.